But by this point, both countries had gained atomic weapons, raising fears of a nuclear confrontation.
This war could go to the next level as both nations are equipped with nuclear weapons.
The two nations both have an arsenal of nuclear weapons.
By Pakistan's army, ISI and leadership are threatening India with nuclear weapons.
ये जो 130 एटॉमिक हमारे पास वेपन है वो हमने सिर्फ मॉडल बनाने के लिए नहीं रखे हुए। ये जो होरी, शहीन, गजनवी ये चौकों में सजाने के लिए नहीं हमने रखे हुए, ये हमने हिंदुस्तान के लिए रखे हैं।
Hello and welcome to my channel. We seem to have been stuck in a loop every time there's a terrorist attack in India. This is the usual sequence. Pakistan sponsors or does a terrorist attack on India. India vows to retaliate. Pakistan bluffs a nuclear war which will cause a large amount of devastation. India gets pressured by everyone in the world to not retaliate, and then Pakistan is spared from the consequences of their action. The India-Pakistan conflict, the most recent conflict that is, has de-escalated and there's a ceasefire from both ends. There are theories that have been floating around that once again Pakistan threatened a nuclear escalation. But I'll talk about those theories in a minute. Now, the conflict between India and Pakistan is not new. We have fought 4 full-scale wars, which Pakistan initiated, and Pakistan was the aggressor every single time. A simple Google search or a ChatGPT prompt will show you what I'm talking about. And they lost each and every single one of those wars. In fact, in 1971, they were split in 2 halves. The portion that used to be East Pakistan became Bangladesh. 93,000 of their soldiers surrendered in that conflict. After that, they realized that they can never win a conventional war against India. So they started this new policy, this new strategy, which is called Bleed India with 1,000 Cuts. Under this policy, they keep sending small-scale terrorists into the Indian territory. Now, the advantage that they have doing the small-scale terrorist attacks is, 1, they get plausible deniability. They can just deny that the source of the terrorism links back to Pakistan. 2, this takes very little resources to build. 3, it uses a lot of India's resources to defend because some of these small-scale attacks are very difficult to track down and neutralize. And they were successful with this quite a few times. They did a terrorist attack where they attacked the Indian Parliament in 2001, which was the center of India's administration. The Mumbai attack on 26/11, which is very well known all across the world, where they killed more than 170 people, and several small-scale attacks in between 2001 to 2010. In fact, in 2006 terrorist attack, I was very, very close to one of the train blasts that was done in Mumbai, my hometown. But things changed after 2016 when we started calling their bluff. After the 2016 Uri attack, India conducted a surgical strike in which the Indian forces entered the Pakistani-occupied Kashmir and took out terror launch pads. After that, in 2019, after the Pulwama attack, India retaliated with an airstrike in Balakot. Which brings us to the 2025 Pahalgam Attack. On April 22, 2025, 26 people were gunned down by terrorists in a town called Pahalgam in India. The terrorist group, the Resistance Front, claimed responsibility for this. Now, this group is an offshoot of Lashkar-e-Taiba, which is a UN-designated terrorist organization, which, no surprises for guessing, is linked back to Pakistan. After which, India waited for 15 days for Pakistan to take care of the matter. But when they did not, India retaliated with 9 missile strikes on terrorist base camps in Pakistan under the name Operation Sindoor. Once again, before India responded, Pakistan, anticipating the response, started the nuclear escalation saber-rattling. But India called their bluff and carried out the strikes. After the strikes were carried out, Pakistan retaliated with hundreds of drones in residential areas in several Indian cities. All of these drone attacks were successfully neutralized, and none of them, thankfully, made it to the ground. After this, India retaliated with precision strikes on their military targets. Within 2 days, there was so much damage that was inflicted on Pakistan that they started looking at nuclear options. At some point on May 9th, the Pakistani Prime Minister tried to bring together a meeting of the National Command Authority. For those who don't know, the National Command Authority in Pakistan deals with their nukes. Fearing the nuclear escalation, the White House had to jump in and had to orchestrate a ceasefire. Now, there were several little instances that pointed to the fact that Pakistan was looking into nuclear escalation. One of them was a meeting with the National Command Authority. Another little incident that pointed to the fact was one of Donald Trump's tweets, which said that this could have potentially caused millions of lives. Another theory from credible sources said that there was going to be a severe escalation in the war.
And we stopped the nuclear conflict. I think it could have been a bad nuclear war.
The second theory talks about how one of the airstrikes that was carried out by India may have accidentally hit their nuclear base, which may have caused some radioactive leakage. There are theories that Egypt sent a plane into Pakistan overnight with a lot of boron. For those who don't know, boron is used to absorb radioactivity. So yeah, another potential nuclear threat prevented Pakistan from facing the consequences of their own action. After the de-escalation, they declared a victory, even though we clearly know, with proof from satellite images, it was them who were going to face an eventual defeat. So, do you want to know what my opinion on this is? I think it was a bluff. It was a bluff before, it was a bluff now. Just using the word nuclear prevents them from facing consequences of their own actions. India has a no first use policy, which means that we will never use nuclear weapons first. We will only use nukes in retaliation. But Pakistan has no such policy. We created our nukes as a deterrent to China after we lost the war in 1962. That's right, we actually accept when we lose our battles. And this shook Pakistanis to their core. In a famous quote, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto said that we will eat grass, we will go hungry, but we will get one of our own. Ever since then, both countries have a stockpile of 170 nukes. And I cannot recall any time India has threatened with a nuclear strike. It was always them who threatened a nuclear escalation. So what did we gain from all of this operation? It seemed like there was a sudden ceasefire. We stopped, we were in the front foot, and we had to back off. Well, there was a lot to gain, even though it did not fulfill a lot of our expectations. Honestly, I think our expectations were way too high from this conflict. One of the greatest things that was achieved in this conflict was that terrorists will now fear and have to think several times before they think of doing another attack. They know that they cannot just be chilling in one of their bunkers or one of their safe havens in Pakistan, because at any moment, India will just rain fire from the sky upon them. We will not be afraid of the nuclear bluff anymore. Even the Prime Minister mentioned that in his speech.
कोई भी न्यूक्लियर ब्लैकमेल भारत नहीं सहेगा। न्यूक्लियर ब्लैकमेल की आड़ में पनप रहे आतंकी ठिकानों पर भारत सटीक और निर्णायक प्रहार करेगा।
Now you may think that I am biased, and maybe I am. But here's a video of someone who's way more eloquent and articulate than I am, saying the same thing. She's an expert of South Asian geopolitics.
It seems to me that Pakistan uses its nuclear weapons to blackmail the entire world into thinking that it's too dangerous to fail. So why wasn't Pakistan put on the blacklist of Fatah? Well, it wouldn't have access to IMF funds. Pakistan would have an economic meltdown. So goes the global narrative. And Pakistan, with its nuclear weapons and petting zoos of terrorists, is just too dangerous to fail. And the irony is that because the international community is so afraid of letting Pakistan fail, that it actually prevents the natural course corrections that would happen if Pakistan were on the brink of failure.
Pakistan is an unstable country. It should not have had nuclear weapons in the first place. If you look at every proliferation of the nukes that has happened in the world, be it Iran, be it North Korea, you can link it back to Pakistan. It is high time we expose their bluff. It is high time the world knows about it, and it is high time that they learn a lesson. Thank you and goodbye.